Ladies and gentlemen, federal employees, today we're talking about 3 of the dumbest reasons I hear all the time that people use to retire, to leave their jobs, to retire when at the end of the day, they may not be the smartest reasons to leave and retire for good. So if you're new here, welcome. It's great to have you. My name is Dallin Hawes. I'm a financial planner who serves federal employees specifically, and I absolutely love helping them get the most out of their benefits and retire confident. That is my goal, to help you guys do exactly that. So today, again, we're talking about the 3 dumbest reasons I hear for people retiring. And at the end of the day, it's your life. You can retire for whatever reasons you possibly want. Totally on you. I don't care at the end of the day. Unless you're my client, then I care. I definitely want you to get the most out of everything. But these reasons I have found are often connected to people making rash decisions and not thinking it out, not thinking through their plans and really being prepared for retirement. Now, I'm sure there's exceptions, but this is my experience, okay? So let's dive in. Number one dumb reason is, well, all my coworkers are retiring, right? All the people I've been working with for 30 years, they're retiring, so it's my time too. And while I'm not saying that's not true, maybe it's true, maybe you can retire. Normally, in my experience, the best retirements happen with some proper planning, some thoughtful process. Okay, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how my finances look. To think through all these things, to plan and have a great plan, and then say, okay, this is when I want to retire, and not base that on what everyone else is doing, because maybe those other people aren't actually ready. You don't know. It's hard to know without actually diving into someone's situation, because I meet a lot of federal employees, but I also look deep into people's situations and finances, and the finances often tell a much different story than what people might say about their plans and when they're retiring. So keep that in mind, okay? Number 2, the next reason I hear all the time that people want to retire is, hey, I want to travel. I want to get in that RV and I want to go. And keep this in mind, that I'm not saying you shouldn't travel in retirement, but one thing I get a little frustrated about is when people but think they can't do anything before they retire. And my advice for people is, hey, look, I want you to retire as soon as you want to and can afford to, and I want you to have an incredible retirement. I want you to travel as much as you can, as much as you want to. However, travel now too, right? Travel now too. Do all the things you want to do later. Do it now too while you're working, right? If you're 40 years old, don't wait till retirement to do that RV trip, right? Do it now. Do it this weekend. Do it, do it as soon as you possibly can, right? Life is short. If you wait to do everything in retirement, maybe you won't be as healthy as you thought you would be. Maybe you won't have the health or the energy to do things the way that you thought you would do it. So keep that in mind. So again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't travel in retirement. I want you to travel as much as you want to. All I'm saying is, don't use a one day I will be happy mentality for your retirement. One day when I'm not working, I'll have time for all the things I want to do. And that's true, kind of. But please, please, please do the things you want to do now, and don't push everything till retirement, because it's going to be different than when you're 40 years old, right? You're not going to be 40 and retired, generally. You're going to be 60 or whatever age you're going to be. So do things that you can do now, and don't push off everything. If you want to travel in retirement too, amazing, do that too. But do things you want to do now, and don't push it to one day you'll have time. Do it now, okay? Lastly, the last reason that I often see is connected with some bad retirement, or not the most ideal retirement, is when federal employees are running from work. They're running from a bad job or a bad manager, right? And whenever I see federal employees are just running away from something, I often see them make rash decisions, retire sooner than they possibly should, and lots of different reasons. When I see people have successful retirements is when they're running to something, when they're excited for something, when they're excited to have the passion and the adventure that comes with retirement, right? When they're running towards something and not necessarily just running away, right? Because when you're running away from something, I promise you in retirement, you're going to find something you don't like about retirement and start running away from that too. And say, okay, one day, and you'll play that whole one day game, which I don't like that game, right? I want to play the game where you live the best life you can now. That's the game I want you to play. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is be happy now. Be happy now. And maybe your job isn't ideal. Maybe your situation isn't ideal. Maybe you're not in the financial situation that you'd hope you'd be in. Do the best you can to improve those things, but retirement's not going to be perfect either, right? Retirement's amazing for a lot of people, but it's not perfect. The one thing we can't escape, and the one thing you 100% will take into retirement, is your attitude. Your attitude, and if you're constantly running and complaining about what you have now, well, in retirement, it's going to be hard to escape that attitude, okay? So again, you can retire for whatever reasons you possibly want. If you hate your job, okay, retire, right? Retire. But at the end of the day, I want you to have the best retirement you can, and it's up to you to create it. There's nothing I can do via this camera, right, and the screen to get you an incredible retirement. At the end of the day, even if you were my client, I can't force anything. I can't force you to enjoy your life in your retirement. I can only help, right? But I can't force it. It's up to you to take responsibility for your life and your retirement and your benefits to make sure you are living the best life you can now and in retirement. So that's my goal and my hopes and my dreams for you, for every single federal employee, that you live an incredible life now and you set yourself up for an incredible life later as well. So I hope that's helpful. Have an incredible rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time.